Seattle. First time in town. Are you guys excited about the night?
Yeah, definitely.
Extremely excited, extremely excited.
Right on. Well, you guys have had a huge year. Very successful, I'd say. What are some of your highlights so far?
Shoot, okay, Tomorrowland, I guess.
I mean,
Electric Zoo.
The festivals have been insane, man. It's been such a crazy year for that, because him and I think that we've played at now more festivals than we've wanted to even attend. Like, I mean, I'm sure that we've looked at it plenty. I mean, we've looked at Tomorrowland plenty of times and been like, thinking, oh, it'd be so great to go there. And then this year we got to play there, And at the same time, it's like in the same year we're playing at Electric Zoo, Nocturnal, EDC, and it's been a ride, It's been crazy.
Has anything significantly changed in your life since the onslaught of all this success, or?
I think not too much yet. I mean, I guess we're getting used to planes now.
Yeah,
Getting used to the travel confusion.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your podcast, The Remedy. You guys use that as a platform for a lot of relatively unknown artists to showcase their music to the world. Besides that, for the people that aren't familiar with it, is there a general direction that you want to take with it, or is there, do you want to stick to a trance sound, a house sound, something like that?
Honestly, the reason why we called it The Remedy is because there's so many fans that listen to us. We have kids coming up to us telling us, oh, we're dubstep fans and we didn't even like trance until we heard of you guys, blah, 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 so a lot of that factors into when we created the radio show, the idea of it, like I always throw artists in there who are just, like artists who people are like, wow, what is this? What is this tune? And it's not just to put on a radio show that showcases music that, because you don't want to have the repeats of TATW, Trance Around A State of Trance, Global DJs, you don't want a repeat of the shows that everyone listens to. And for us especially, our sound influence comes from Jay Dilla, Flying Lotus, Clark, a lot of guys that are just samplers. They're not even, they're considered like glitch hop, trip hop. And the thing is, what we want to showcase is in that radio show, we want people to see where our roots come from, where this music we heard, these sounds we heard, and we were like, we could use that in dance music, and we really want to showcase that kind of stuff. That's why, a lot of the stuff in that radio show isn't trance. It's going to be a lot of techno, a lot of tech house, a lot of electronica, we've had dubstep, everything in there, and we just want people to know that it's supposed to be like a remedy, You go home and you listen, it's supposed to be a remedy for the soul, something that you can put on, you don't want to hit next to, you just want to listen to the whole thing and just see where the journey will take you. And we hope that we really capture that for our fans, but I think that at the same time we're still learning how to put together a radio show, how to keep everyone entertained for the full 2 hours and all that.
With that being said, with the production of the music, there's a lot of contempt amongst a lot of trance purists.
Oh yeah,
we love that part. We love that part.
To be honest, I can answer that easily. It's like, there's a lot of trance purists that are always saying like, oh, this isn't trance, this isn't trance. We never really wanted it to be trance, like what they want. Like we know like the older style of trance, like that was, the really hardcore melodic side and stuff like that. And it's like, we still love that. We love putting that in breakdowns and stuff like that. But let's just say breakdowns are trance. Our breakdowns definitely are trance right now. And then other stuff is definitely more influenced from electro house and all that stuff. And we like just calling it just straight EDM. And I know people are saying it's trance and whatever. Then fine, call it whatever you want. But I mean, we're not trying to make what they are being so persistent about what their old comfortability of trance was. Like we're not trying to do that.
I mean, so, where we come from is we get
come from those days still,
we get influence from everything. We get influence from the biggest trance names, well, when they were big trance names, like Oakenfold, Paul Van Dyke, Armin, Marcus, all the guys that were like the forefathers of like creating this whole newer trance sound back in like 2004, 2005. That is what we grew up to. That is what we were stoked on. We understand where all these trance purists are coming from, but at the same time, we also have a lot of love for guys like Hardwell, and you know, like who else? Like a lot of the big house names, you know. And then on top of that, like we were saying, like Jay Dilla, Flying Lotus. So when it comes to our sound, we have all these interpretations, and there's 2 of us.
I love listening to that Mexican mariachi stuff. No, I'm just kidding. No, but,
I think honestly, for the most part, like the reason why we always have to mention Flying Lotus, Jay Dilla, Andrew Bear was a huge inspiration to us until we met the guy, and then we realized that he sucks. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's a huge inspiration, and ever since we met him, he's done everything he can to help push us, to help show us, like, you know, where we can take our sound. And the best part about it is he's so into Jay Dilla and Flying Lotus like us, and I think that honestly, that's probably our favorite music to listen to. If you ask me, honestly, Flying Lotus, Jay Dilla, glitch hop, trip hop, all that kind of stuff is the best to listen to, because the creativity that you'll hear in what they're designing, their melodies, and the way that they push it is like, it's one above. Like, I mean, you know, trance and house, you'll never ever be able to understand like what kind of creativity can be with sampling and with bass lines, because when you hear these guys, I mean, me and him just get blown away with some of the samples, because they tweak the samples to where they're creating a whole song out of one vocal, you know what I mean? And that's
way more like different types of rhythms and stuff like that than just that, you know, normal 4/4.
The 4/4 groove, you know, because you can only do so many grooves with 4/4, and him and I think have pretty much heard every one. So from that point, I mean, that's when we kind of, you know, we sit back and we'll listen to Dilla and we'll listen to Flying Lotus, and we'll kind of gather, you know, get your ears back on, you know, instead of being so stuck in that trance.
Yeah, definitely. And now, you 2 started out on Enhanced Air Up There with Chad and Dave.
Yeah.
Now you're with Juna Beats.
Yeah.
Correct. And is there any reason for that change, or are you guys still working with Enhanced and Air Up There, or are you just, you know, kind of doing your stuff with the Juna Beats back, or what's going on there?
Well, the change, it was all kind of, it was like a random kind of thing that happened. We were working with, what was that? Cold Harbor. We were working with Cold Harbor first, before anything. And then, you know, it was with Marcus and Heather, his wife, and everything. And they were really cool. And then we had one tune, and it was The Gift. And it wasn't really worked out too well, you know, or anything. But we kind of showed it to Marcus, and I don't know if he really liked it too much. But when we showed it to Chad from Tritonal, you know, he was pumped on it. And he said, we're starting this record label. We really would love to have you guys on there. And so me and him were kind of like, hey, shot in the dark. It was with that guy Recurve, also known as Thomas Crescent. And he was a good friend of Dave Reed's. So, you know, we were all kind of like, hey, let's put it out on this label. You know, it's going to be their second release. You know, it should be good for us. And it turned out, you know, because we were a nobody name then, we put it out on this, like, you know, it was like a Air Up There label. You know, it was their second release, so they weren't established or nothing. And we somehow charted that thing. Yeah. And we were blown away, you know, and it was great success, and we were so stoked and everything, and we were so stoked to have that support from Chad, Dave, and Will Holland from Enhanced, definitely. And then after that, you know, and Juna Beats just hit us up randomly, and we're like, do you guys have any original material? And we're like, yeah, you know, we'd love to send you guys original material. So, I mean, we sent them stuff, we started working with them, but with Air Up There, I think that we kind of just like started going with it, and Juna Beats, they started backing us a lot, you know, making us like the forefront of the label for a bit, and we were really pumped on that. So, you know, we started going with them a little bit, and then I think Chad and Dave kind of went their own way, you know, like they started putting out a lot of club, which obviously you saw their club mixes and everything are doing fine for themselves. Yeah. And so at that point, I think that it was kind of just like, you know, we were working with Juna Beats, they were being really helpful to us, and then with Air Up There, I think that it was just kind of hard to differentiate our singles and, you know, do our singles with Enhanced. That's why we only had one single come out this year, and I think that what we're trying to do is obviously now work on our that was for Juna Beats. We took one of the tracks off of it.
One of the tracks.
Yeah, we're gonna rework it a little bit, and we're gonna, because what we're trying to do is, you know, we're the next EP, actually, I think the fans will be really excited. We're gonna bring back some sounds from The Gift and Bloom, and that's gonna be our main track on that EP. And then the other track, we're gonna get really experimental, make it, you know, kind of like Superman, like Matt Zo's Superman, but we're gonna get really minimal with it. And we just want to see, like, you know, what kind of reaction that gets us. And
still have that Norin Rad sound still. You know, it's still pretty heavy, but it's very, 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 very minimal.
We've been, you know, we've been working with experimenting this whole year, you know, because like we said, our album, we want that to be something that's exponential. We want that to be something where all of electronica music kind of looks at it like, wow, this is a really great album, you know. And I mean,
in the time.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely putting in the time. We're putting in the research above all to, you know, to see what sounds, you know, what sounds make up Mumbatone, what sounds make up, you know, tech house, and we're gonna have all of that on that album. And I think that's
for next summer. That's the goal.
Next summer.
So, you know, anywhere between beginning to end, but
I think springtime we'll start teasing it.
Springtime
we'll
we can
start putting out a couple
some
clips
singles
of what
and
the album
clips
will be like. And you know, I think the main thing that we want to put out is, you know, when we do the Mumbatone and when we do the tech house tunes, we want to put out samples of those.
Right on.
Just to really see, like, you know, what people are going to say about it. I mean, you know, as you can tell, as you mentioned earlier, controversy definitely comes highly with a lot of our tunes. So we're, I mean, that's what drives us. Is we love seeing that back and forth between the fans. And so I think on our album, it's just been a lot of motivation to, like, really get creative on this thing and see how many elements of EDM we could fit into one tune and see how bare we can get on another tune. You know what I mean?
Right on. So, well, I'm looking forward to the show tonight. Thanks so much for coming out and spending some time with us.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.